Senators Abdullahi Adamu and Abubakar Kyari have resigned from the Nigerian Senate. They sent in their resignation letters following their election as the National Chairman and Deputy National Chairman North in the ruling All Progressives Congress. Well, the letters were read by the President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, during Senate plenary today.
Consequent upon my victory as National Chairman at the just concluded convention of our great party, the All Progressives Congress APC, on the 26th of March 2022, I hereby formally resign as a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District with effect from 1st April 2022. We have another letter of resignation. This time is from distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari, Chairman Senate Committee on Federal Capital Territory, representing Borno Senatorial District. Your Excellency, letter of resignation. I'm writing formally to inform Your Excellency of my resignation from the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Senator representing Borno Senatorial District. This is as a result of my victory at the convention of our party, the All Progressives Congress APC, on the 26th of March 2022, where I emerged as the Deputy National Chairman North.
The President of the Nigerian Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and with their exit, the Independent National Electoral Commission is expected to conduct by-elections within a statutory period of 3 months for their replacements.
Indeed. Well, Adamu's resignation was necessitated by the amendment of the Constitution of the All Progressives Congress, which bars anyone holding executive or legislative position from holding a party office. At the national level, there is still uncertainty over the provision of the Electoral Act, which requires political appointees to resign before participating in elective conventions and primaries. With the controversy yet to be legally resolved in the lead-up to the presidential election, what is the fate of political appointees eyeing the top job? Well, to discuss these issues, we have in the studio with us Arise News analyst Frank Tietie, who is a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure indeed.
So we do have these senators who have resigned as a result of their amended party constitution. But we have one presidential aspirant who is the first political appointee to declare, in the person of the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. And there have been some clamor for him to resign his position. You know the law. You understand it better than anyone else in the studio. Has the Minister of Transportation erred?
Well, not yet, because the provisions of the Constitution, Section 137, subsection 1 and paragraph F, does grant any political appointee who wants to contest for the post of president 30 days before the election to actually resign. So we're not, that has not actually come yet. However, the controversial Section 84, subsection 12 is hanging in the air. Whereas there is a subsisting court judgment, not necessarily an order, saying that Section 84, subsection 12 be deleted from the Electoral Act. Interestingly, National Assembly has swiftly gone to appeal that judgment, and interestingly further, the Court of Appeal appears to be preserving the Section 84, subsection 12 provision, meaning that that cannot be given effect to. On that note, the Court of Appeal is moving also swiftly to hear that appeal by 4th of May. So until 4th of May, before people like Rotimi Amechi would know, after the judgment of the Court of Appeal, before they would know their fate. However, he cannot stay in office beyond 30 days before the election.
Right. Well, interesting scenario you have painted there, but one wonders really the wisdom of the APC to actually, amend its constitution, just at the convention, which I was a part of, before it only said 4 executive officers, but now it added legislature, which is why we saw the scenario that played out at the National Assembly today. But let's look at this really. What is the wisdom of them resolving to adopt this resolution? And let's throw it open to beyond the party level, to the national level. Do you think it's something that, you know, might play up some interesting scenarios as we look forward to the primaries, looking at INEC's timetable?
Certainly, yes, and quite commendable on the part of the APC. The APC gave a reason that it wanted to make its constitution more elegant and more reflective of the democratic principles, and that's what it did. So holding concurrent position both in legislative or executive capacity, at the same time being a leader, an executive member of the political party at any level, runs contrary to the principle of democracy, according to the APC, because it appears that such concurrent positions would not be in the best interest of the party. And what has become very, very commendable is the way and manner that Abdullahi Adamu and his counterpart easily, tendered their letters of resignation in compliance with the amended provision. Now, if you apply it to the national politics, beginning with that of the presidency, it is expected that political appointees need not, wait to test the law to the extent that it will, create a state of uncertainty in the political parties before resigning. After all, it's a demand by the Constitution first, and then now we have an electoral act.
But Mr. Tietie, the Constitution actually talks about civil servants, not necessarily political appointees there.
The good thing about it is that it's still a matter of contention. Now, in the employment of the public service at any level, whether state or federal, it has to do with anybody who is in, whether political appointees or persons who are directly appointed into the public service, not necessarily civil service, the public service of Nigeria. Public service includes the civil service and any other person that is working for the federal or state government.
Okay. Well, our next schedule of activities gives, for the general election, gives political parties up to, between April 4th and June 3rd, of course, this year, to conduct primaries and resolve all issues around that. And with the controversial Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act being challenged in court, what are the implications for the likes of political appointees now? The Minister of Transport, the Minister of Justice, who is certainly unsure what exactly he's saying at the moment, and others.
I can quickly predict to you.
For the political appointees and for the political parties.
Yes, I can quickly predict to you that the political parties will be smart enough to ensure that the judgment from that appeal comes out before they conclude their convention. Or their convention or congresses for the purpose of nominating aspirants for the various positions. They will not dare to take the risk of going through the primaries with persons who are political appointees holding on to their offices, realizing the position that the court has already taken in the interim, asking the Attorney General not to frustrate the hearing of the case and to also preserve Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act, meaning that any political party that dares to take that risk stands to make changes before the 3rd of June, because INEC has made its timetable so sacrosanct that it appears to be cast in stone. It doesn't change. So the political parties will be smart not to defy the outcome of that judgment.
But Mr. Tietie, even if INEC seems like it's cast on stone, at the end of the day, judicial issues is not that way, because yes, there has been a judgment and there's an appeal, which it might even go further. So what if, between now and the 3rd of June, looking at INEC's timetable, we don't get that judgment out? What are the likely scenarios that might play out?
First and foremost, you see, we in our country, interestingly, we give unusual priority to political cases. So the prediction is first and foremost that the Court of Appeal will do everything in its power to conclude that case. And that's the reason why it fixed 4th of May for the hearing and gave 3 days each. After 3 days each to all the parties to conclude their filings. So it means that they must, in the spirit of giving priority to political cases, conclude that. But if it happens that the Court of Appeal is unable to conclude that judgment before the 4th of June, that is after the 3rd of June, then the law as it is at that time will apply, and that will be very interesting, meaning that you will have, the law is this, the judgment is the law. That is, those section 84, subsection 12 will not apply. But what happens after the judgment?
So they will be erring on the side of caution. We likely will be seeing those resignation letters coming in very quickly.
Yes, for
I'm
serious
candidates,
candidates that want to command some certainty on the part of the party,
do the right
of course,
thing.
they should resign.
Thank you so much, Barrister Frank Tietie, Arise News analyst and legal practitioner, of course.